Hi, in this video I'm going to walk you through how to enhance and develop the describing your work paragraph that you drafted in class today. Again, the goal is to build on what you have. In class, you just had 10 minutes, 15 minutes to write out your ideas based on the conversation you had had in your classmates and the note you took. And now you want to add to those details if you can. Explore your draft and ask yourself, have I talked about the key tasks? Have I brought in the important places or people? Or have I left some things out that I could bring in that would expand and enhance what I have here? What I didn't talk so much about in class was the qualitative element of this, because I just wanted you getting ideas down on paper. But now that you're at home working on expanding what you have, I want you to think about really adding, developing your thinking in this description with dynamic details. What can you do to get the reader's attention and interest? Would being funny or moving or disturbing or insightful? Would exploring the familiar, the different, or the unexpected? Would these kind of moves add to what you have in your intro and make it a more interesting description of the work that you do? Those are ideas that you could be exploring. But I think what you're going to find at the heart of this paragraph is imagery. The sounds, the visions, the smells, the tastes, the touches that can really strike the reader by painting a picture, by showing rather than telling about your work experience. This all sounds nice, lots of theory about techniques you can try. Let's take a look at a sample draft paragraph, a sample draft description of work, and see if we can see some of these elements in here. First of all, this sample draft is long. It's over 300 words. You're going to see it extends onto 2 slides. I don't need you to make your draft this long. You're shooting for 200 plus words, but I included this really long draft sample because it shows how you can expand. I think many times students don't realize how much they could be saying in their writing. And then later, when it's time to come back and incorporate this paragraph as an intro of an essay, you can trim this down to whatever size really works for the argument you end up making in the paper about why you work and why you should work. So looking at this sample draft, you can see right away that I have put into bold some of the lines that struck me. I think there's interesting details here about the kind of work that's being done, the time of it, the rigor of it, the idea of bicycling to and from work. That one really jumped out at me. And I love some of the imagery here, especially that row of beat up pickup trucks. I think that's really kind of interesting. It's a striking image. And then I love the line about the smell of gasoline, cut grass, and dirt seeping into the truck. And in that same sentence, which I think is really strong, there's this very interesting detailing of the kind of work that gardeners do. We know what it is, but it's nice to see it in a cool compressed sentence that pulls it together. The paragraph continues, and again, like I said, this is a huge paragraph, but I'm just trying to show you different techniques and strategies you can use. I love this idea of the cheap beer wrapped in paper bags and having lunch in parking lots and on street corners. And I love this thing at the end about working on pulling weeds and the dividers in Carson, and the vivid imagery here, the weeds covered with pinkish brownish slime, and then the kind of horrifying but almost comic language of the chemical assault on their central nervous systems. And then I love that ending of the paragraph, getting back on the bicycle to ride home after this kind of day. It's really an engaging, interesting, provocative description. And all of it probably won't end up in the final paper. It's probably more than needs to be there. But it really is interesting. And I can't wait to hear what this writer thinks about the meaning of this work, why he or she does this kind of work, and what it says about the kind of work they want to do. So let's remind ourselves of what we're doing for next time. You're going to expand, revise, and improve what you started. Get it up over 200 words. You're going to type up your work and bring the typed class copy printed out to class. You're also going to bring in the original that you did in class so we can compare the two. I'm going to ask you to turn both the original and the revision into me in your class folder at the end of class, and we're going to use those two during class to sort of talk about the progress you've made and the things you can still work on. The sample draft paragraphs that are in this video, they're also up on the course blog, so if you want to look at them in hard copy form, you can. You should also know that you can go back through this video clicking the little slide button at the bottom of the screen, and that will walk you through it sort of PowerPoint style, slide by slide. See you in class next time, and I look forward to reading about your job, your work, and your description of it. Thanks.